Hi, good afternoon. I hope you guys are keeping well. Today we are going to discuss the question answers of the chapter Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. And let's just get started. So, why don't you open and go to page number 18 on your book? And this is how it goes. So, you have a couple of discussive questions also along with your textual questions. So, we'll discuss that and you have to attempt also those also. Question number 1 on page number 18. Where did the ceremonies take place? Can you name any public buildings in India that are made of sandstone? So the question is referring to the ceremony of the opening ceremony of a democratic Republic of South Africa, and this happened in the twin buildings of Union Buildings of Pretoria. So you have to mention that this is on page number 17, and you have to mention how it took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheater, and the same building which stood as a testimony, as a proof of a very long rule of apartheid. The same building was an example of the freedom of South Africa. And then the second question says, name any public building in India that is made of sandstone. So you can just mention, Google and try to mention any building in India about that. So question number A will be of, let's say, 80 words. Okay. Second, can you say how 10th May is an autumn day in South Africa? Usually, autumn is the time when you are reaping the rewards of your hard work. It is a season when the result of all your hard work and labor comes as a result, metaphorically. But here in this text, autumn, in the same way, autumn in 10th of May is referred to the result of the long, never-ending struggle and sacrifice of so many South African fellow black and white and colored, all South African brothers and sisters who sacrificed their lives, their everything for one sole reason, and that was to see a free South Africa, to free from the bondage of apartheid. And this is what it has been referred to. So I want you to write this in 150 words. At the question number 3, at the beginning of his speech, Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster. You know, the freedom of South Africa did not come in a year or in a day, in a month, in 10 years. It took decades to see this day, along with millions of people who gave their lives, who sacrificed their lives, millions of people who were imprisoned for lives, millions of people who were tagged as outlaws. Fellow black South Africans had to live like with minimum human conditions and an extreme exploitation of human rights. This is what Mandela is referring to. What does he mean by this? What is the glorious human achievement? One of the most glorifying, in Hindi Urdu we can call it tarif ke layak, something which is worth to be praised and remembered for centuries, forever, in the history of the world, along with the history of South Africa, is the achievement of a free country, democratically elected country, by its own representatives, peacefully. He speaks of at the end. So you have to mention all that in totality in 180 words. These kind of questions, why I want you to write is because when you're sitting for your board examinations, um, do not expect to get the same questions as you have in your text. So you have to prepare yourself for every situation. As long as you understand the chapter, they can twist, the examiner can twist it. What does Mandela thank, question number 4, thank the international leaders for? If you remember, people from all over the world had come to witness and celebrate this joyous day, for the freedom of South Africa. And they thanked, and Dr. Mandela thanked all these international leaders to come and witness the first rising sun, free in a free South Africa. Witness the the as he says in question number 3, glorious human achievement. Witness that that things can be sorted with continuous struggle. So you have to mention that in 50 words. What ideals does he set out for the future of South Africa? When, if you look at the speech of South Africa, he's talking to the future generations of South Africa, and he's saying that the what South Africa right now is that it has been exploited to such a level that that it'll take a very very long time for the people of South Africa to come out of it. Um, Go to page number 20. It says in the last paragraph, it says that there are thousands and thousands of people who have sacrificed their lives for a very very long time. And he says that because of the apartheid, it has created a deep wound on the lives of on South Africa and the people of South Africa, and it is going to the after effects of this apartheid is going to remain for generations and generations. So we have to come out of this. We have to come out of it together in solidarity. We have to come out of poverty. We have to come out of come out and treat everyone as equal. You have to mention all that in 100 words. Okay. Then on page number 21, question number 1. What do the military generals do? How has their attitude changed and why? The same military generals, who were all bedecked. Bedecked means they were all dressed up, and their chests were decorated with all the badges of bravery. In case if the same military officers would be there during apartheid, they would have taken Dr. Nelson Mandela as an outlaw, and they would have mistreated him. They would have treated them as outlaws. But the same military officers, when they are standing and representing a free democratic South Africa, they are standing there and they are welcoming them, the dignitaries and Dr. Mandela. They're saluting, and they're also pledging for their loyalty. They're swearing in that they will be loyal to South Africa. So ironical, so opposite. You have to mention all that. And why has the attitude changed? Because they are no longer under apartheid. They are in a free country. So that is why they are swearing in, and they are swearing that they'll do anything for South Africa. So you have to mention all this in totality in 110 words. Why? Question number 2. Why were 2 national anthems sung? 2 national anthems, if you remember, if you just go back to page number 19, there were 2 national anthems. One was the original. That was a vision of white South Africans, fellow South Africans, Kosi Sisi Kil I Afrika. And the second one is sung by the fellow black South Africans, this time. Understand? Although both of the groups, he says that none of them understood the wordings. Lyrics means the wordings of the anthem, but soon they will understand it. But they will remember it by heart, like how we can sing Jana Gana Mana, anytime. It's something that you memorize by heart. So the reason why 2 national anthems were sung was because one, to remember their past, and the second one to remember their free South Africa, both one. And you can mention that in 40 words. How does Mandela describe the systems of government in his country in the first decade, in the final decade of the 20th century? So now he is talking about what happened to South Africa, the economic, the economic, I should say, drawbacks of South Africa. What happened to South Africa as a country? So here it says that on last paragraph of page number 90, it says that I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of 20th century, this is right after the Anglo-Boer War. I did explain you what happened in the Anglo-Boer War. Please go back to the same video, and I'm not going to mention all that again, right? So he's trying to say that what happened, during the Anglo settlers, they started, Anglo settlers are the white colonial Britishers. They started ruling over the fellow black South Africans, native black South Africans, based on their skin color. And in the last 20th century, what happens, and as Nelson Mandela mentions that now he's also old, he's in 80s when he became the president of South Africa, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all. The last century has seen that we have totally revoked it, and now we are believing